What's going on, folks? It's episode 73. We just lost to the Steelers about an hour ago. It was not pretty, so we got to talk about it. Let's go. What's happening, people? It is episode 73, as I said in the intro of Out of Your Falcon Mind, Atlanta Falcons fan cast. I'm John, coming to you from the Variety Sports Network, as always, every week. And just as if y'all are watching on YouTube, obviously you can tell that Fleek is not Mike. Mike is feeling better. Just want to let everybody know that he's better. He missed last week's shows if y'all weren't here, but he's going to be out for probably this week. He's just got some personal stuff going on he's got to take care of. He's fine. His health is good, all that good stuff. He's no issues going on. He just has some stuff to take care of. So he'll be back. I'm hoping for Thursday's show, but we'll just wait and see how it goes. But he's fine. But as I just said, Fleek from around the block is back joining me. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, John? I appreciate you having me back, brother.
Yeah, man. It was just I didn't even know if we were going to record today or tomorrow because my son's got another orchestra concert tomorrow night. So I was thinking like, man, should we just jump on there today? So I sent a message out to you and the guys. And, I figured somebody might want to talk about it because,
you got to decompress. As Arthur Smith would say, got to decompress.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I mean, it was because, there's times I really want to talk about it after the game. Then there's times I want to wait a day or two and kind of look at watch it again and but this so much came out of this game. I was just like, you know what? Like, I really want to talk about this and just kind of just get it over with. Because I mean, we'll get into it. But before we get started, man, again, if y'all are watching on YouTube, thanks for checking us out. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. The like button does so much for us as far as just getting us out there to other Falcons fans and that are looking for Falcons content. And if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, just drop us a 5-star review. Actually, Fleek, if you'll give me a second, we do have a 5-star review because I promised that I will read them out whenever we get them, and we did get a new one.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So, okay, this is from Natural Ice. I dig it. He said, best Falcons and pod, 5 stars. Love hearing from these guys every week. Great show each time. John and Mike are the best. Hey, man, appreciate you, buddy. So anyway, yeah, like that. So if you leave us a 5-star on iTunes, I will gladly read it out. I appreciate that. So without further ado, man, we'll talk a little bit of college at the end here when we've got all of this out of our systems, because it was a pretty, the CFB playoff came out today, which I wasn't really surprised. I know you probably weren't really surprised either. So we can talk a little bit about that, but what happened. But anyway, getting into the game, man. So what was your thoughts going into the game? Like, how'd you feel? Were you? I know the confidence level is never like super high, especially now, but like, how were you feeling?
I will be honest, I was fairly confident. Or I shouldn't say confident. I just wasn't afraid. I wasn't nervous. It was like I kind of felt like no matter what, we'd be in the game so we could win the game. That's how I envisioned the game going. And in the end, it kind of went that way. So I was I say a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10. About a 5. I thought that we would dominate in the run game, even though Pittsburgh does have a very good run defense. We showed in the second half that we can really run on any defense. I'm starting to believe that. I'm starting to believe that this run defense or this run offense could run on anybody, because we played quite a few teams that were, up there in the rankings for rush defense.
Yeah, I thought last week was a big test. I thought that was for us. For me, that was like the okay, we can rush on these guys on this front. Like, okay, we can run on anybody. So
exactly, yeah. And I actually felt like we didn't run the ball enough in the first half.
Agreed.
I feel like CP didn't get enough touches. CP had 0 yards rushing in the first half.
I think Tyler had 2.
Tyler had 2.
And I just watched Arthur's press conference, and they did ask him about, why not running as much. And he said the way they lined up on defense, they were coming down, they were stacking it quite a bit, which he kind of thought they might, just based on, that's everybody knows by now what we're going to try to do is run the ball. But what's funny, I mean, like that's never really stopped him though. Like even what I mean, like even in previous weeks when teams have like lined up to stop us, we still run it, and we're still pretty successful at it. So like to me, like I'm with you. I think we should have ran it more just to say, hey, like I know you're lined up like that, but you got to prove that you can stop us still.
Yeah, you got to show me.
Yeah, you got to show me because I mean, like you saw Tyler, man, he's still busting them out, pushing the pile forward. CP still doing his thing. Huntley still doing it. I mean, like. I thought I was the same thing, man. I was like, why are we? I mean, it was cool to see the very first play of the game was a pass to London. I was like, all right, there we go. That's cool. Yeah, that threw me off a little bit. I'm like, there we go.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Then that was kind of the only wow. It kind of went down from there, but unfortunately, that was Big Pop, what's up, man? He said it's time is damn right. I just happened. That was I made that the title of tonight's show. So that's my it was really easy because the thumbnail for the video, like I went and it's literally just Desmond. It says it's time in episode 73. It's just it's and I've been Pop, thanks for joining us, buddy.
What's going on, Pop?
I didn't I mean, you probably know, Fleek. I mean, throughout the season, like I've been less harsh on Marcus than like Mike has been on the show, at least. You know what I mean? So like, but I haven't been, over the last few weeks, I've been more and more like, this is not doing us any good. We need to go ahead and make a change because it's just, I mean, even being in the playoff race, like, I still think it would be better, honestly. I mean, that's just, but anyway, we'll get into it in a second. But Pop said, agreed, we didn't run the ball enough, but on the pass plays, people were open, but we know the problem.
Hey, Big Pop, I'm glad you said that. Are we diving into?
I mean, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's just wait. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, let's go through these little. I got some game notes. We typically do. Mike and I will typically do like the quarter breakdown. I don't want to get too in depth into it because we just watched the game, so it's all kind of there. I mean, like. But yeah, we'll look at just the first possession for each team. So, I mean, Najee was just getting chunks of yards as I thought he probably would, just
what a game.
Just like B-Rob did last week. One stiff arm, I think Richie's still trying to dig. He's still trying to dig himself out of the ground on that one. Like he got thrown through the damn turf.
Yeah, he got planted.
Yeah. And you look at the replay, you just see the size difference in those guys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, man.
Hey, can we say the Falcons are still everybody's get back right game because Najee Harris hadn't had such a great season.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't been running as well as he ran today all year. So, oh my God, Jamar Chase just almost made one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
I got him on the side here too. Yeah, B-Rob had his world breakout game last week.
Exactly.
This season. And it boils down to, and we'll get into this too. But man, how many weeks can we not tackle? I mean, what's happening to tackling? I don't understand what's going on there. Like, I mean, it's just the most basic thing for defensive players.
Bro, we have to be one of the worst tackling defenses in the entire league. And I know people, some people look at stats and some people say, well, Rashaan Evans is very high up in the tackling rankings this season. And we all know that a tackle can happen 20 yards downfield.
Exactly.
So that's not really a good stat to show off how good of a tackling team you have. And we are not good. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, they break ample amounts of tackles against the Falcons, and it's frustrating because there's been plenty of times where we've had a guy dead to rights in the backfield or for a gain of 1 or 2, and a guy slips 2 or 3 guys and gains 6 or 7 extra yards. And that it was more of the same today. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they need to use different drills this offseason going in, different tackling drills or something, but something's got to give because we're giving up more yards than we need to be because we can't tackle.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when you've got a runner like B-Rob or like Najee who is not going to go down on first hit. Like it's not going to happen. And then if you don't form tackle him or go over his legs or something, man, you're just screwed. It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Man. So I mean, it was rough, man. But in that first possession the Steelers had, I mean, Richie had the sack. that started off. I mean, Zoe was actually, the pass rush was getting there, man. Like, it was applying some pressure. Like, I mean, like, it looked. I mean, we held them to the field goal, 3-0, and I mean, today, and we say it literally every show, but like the bend don't break defense thing like that. I mean, it's on full display today, man. Like, it's long drives that end up in 3 points, which that's great, but it also taxes the hell out of the defense, and it reduces the amount of possessions that our offense gets, which today we needed more possessions, and we needed more, we needed definitely today. But like you said, on our first possession, first pass to London, great. The next play, holding on Franks. I was like, dude, why is he even out there?
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
what good is he doing?
I said the same thing. Like, no way he's on the field.
It seems like every time he's on the field, it's a penalty. Like, there's some kind of penalty called on. I'm like, dude, why don't you know what you're doing? And then Drake did drop one he had to have that hit him in the hands. And it was contested, but he's got to catch it. And then false start by Jake, which he had a rough day, but he was, I mean, it was made it 3rd and forever, and we had to punt. And then the next drive for the Steelers is when Najee put Richie to the turf. And that was ugly. And then Deontay Johnson dropped what would have been probably a first down pass on 3rd down. On their second drive, which, that led to a second field goal. And then Algier on the next possession, big run on first down. Daniel, next pass from Meredith almost gets picked, and then Marcus gets sacked. Line got confused on the look. They collapsed. It looked like Drake and CP was open, but he would have had to let it go really, really quick.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, to get it out there, because I mean, like, and not like it was like CP was off on the left side, on the left hash mark, but London was right across in his face. You know what I mean? I just let it go, man. Let's throw it in front of him or something. Like, if it's incomplete, that's fine. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So next Steelers possession, throw to what's his name, tight end, Freiermuth.
Oh,
Freiermuth. Yeah, and I don't know what AJ was doing, man. Like, he ran into the man like he was like a 6th grader. Like, dude, this is a grown ass man. You bounced off of him, and he just kept going. Like, that you can't tackle him like that. So huge gain there. And then the next one, man, Hayward got wide open. He just split Evans and Hawkins, and nobody took him. And he just, easy 13-3. Then on the next possession, the Falcons, big gainer to Drake. Marks did a great job scrambling, launched it to Hodge, who I thought Hodge should have had that catch too.
I thought so. It hit him
upper,
like, hand.
You got to take. Again, it was contested, but that's a NFL receiver. You got to make that catch too. But anyway, Koo, he did hit another 50-yarder, which, hey, good. I had him on my. He's in my fantasy, so like that was working out well for me. The guy I'm playing has Cleveland's defense, who scored like 30 points today, which is ridiculous. Whoa. They had 3 touchdowns. Ridiculous.
What? I got to go back and watch.
Yeah, I know. I had to read it twice. But so Steelers drive, continued to drive. We continued to miss tackles. They had a 3rd and 7. Sims was out of bounds, comes back in, catch the pass. They got a loss of downs. They settled for a field goal, 16-6. And then after we completed the pass to Drake, this is right before halftime. Marcus misses all 3 attempts, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. None of them close. Not even close. And then we had to punt it, and Steelers run the clock out into the halftime. So in the second half, we started running the ball better, which, like I said, that's when I tweeted. I was like, well, I mean, where has this been? Like, again, that's what we do best. Is, I mean, like, so why are we trying to force the ball downfield when clearly dude can't do it? I mean, like, there's some games he can hit him, but I mean, it's not happening today.
I saw a stat that said that he was like CBS put it up there. But he was like 1 out of his last 20 of passes 30 or more yards down the field, or 30 and 20 was flipped. I can't remember. But he's not good throwing the ball deep. It's not.
No, as of a few weeks ago, I think I read a stat on the show. He was fifth in the attempts beyond 20 yards, and next to last in actually completing them. But now he's dead last, because the guy that was last was Andy Dalton, but now he's surpassed him. If you want to say surpassed him, but that's whatever.
It's bad.
But just finishing out the second half here. Terrible sequence for us to start the game. We were running it okay again, then we went away from it. Some bad misses by Marcus, punt the ball. Steelers get it back. Again, bend don't break just continues. Another field goal, 19-6. But again, these drives just kept taking off clock, and just, it just, like I said, reduced the chances we had to get on offense. Then our next drive, we finally started running the damn ball, and we kept running the ball. And What happened? We scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Crazy. Off play action to Michael Pruitt. Like, that's the stuff we talk about sometimes with Arthur, man. Like, just don't overthink it, dude. Just make them prove to you they can stop whatever you're planning on doing, which is not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, anyway, Steelers get it back. They go 3 and out. I was like, oh shit, okay, here we go. Johnson fumbled it. I mean, it looked like a fumble to me, but I guess technically he didn't make the football move. He didn't make 2 steps, whatever. So.
But if I'm not, I could have sworn that, like, possessing the ball and turning was a football move.
I did too.
I always thought it was.
I thought that too because you had it. Yeah, exactly right. And he turned upfield. So
right,
whatever.
Yeah.
Gets overturned. We start running the ball again, getting after it. Tyler taking load of the carries at this point. We got a 4th and 1. Tyler gets it. Hell of a play by TJ Watt on that play. TJ coming around the side and like swiping foot. Man,
hawked him down. Hey, because that was a very good play call, and Tyler might have been able to create something a lot bigger if TJ hadn't tripped him up like that. He had space.
Agreed. Yeah, I went back and watched that one after on the commercial break, and you're right. He could have gotten more than that if it wasn't for TJ. And the next play, CP scores, call back, which was huge. Obviously, that play was huge. Call back by holding on Hesse. Made it 1st and goal from the 20. Then we got a holding on Matthews. Made a 2nd and goal from the 22. Good throw and catch to London. And then the 3rd and goal was incomplete. It was high ball to London. If it was a little bit better, probably would have got the PI. I thought it was a PI anyway.
I think London would have scored a touchdown. I think Drake London would have caught that ball.
Yeah.
That's what Drake London does.
Dude was behind him. And he was
See, the thing about Drake is, and this was something we talked about with him coming out of the draft after we took him. Not only can he create separation with his route running, but even when a guy is there, he's so big that he can use his frame, and that is his separation.
Yep.
And he had positioned himself well enough to where I thought if the pass was accurate, he had a very good chance at it. And like you said, too, I didn't even think about that. It probably would have drawn the flag because it was more catchable.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The dude's 6'5", and he's jumping, and you still overthrew him. The fuck?
I think he overthrew him too high at least 3 times again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You kept hearing James Lofton say, "Oh, another overthrow" or whatever. I mean, And so anyway, we could not. After that, obviously, kicked the field goal, 19-16, and that was a 15-play drive. So that sucked. We couldn't end it with a touchdown. But the Steelers get it back. They just keep eating the clock. I don't know what Arthur was thinking, not calling a timeout before the 2-minute warning.
I will say, I know a lot of people feel that way, and I understand that as well. But I do understand what he was going for, and I think it was this, even though it doesn't make much sense to me now that I'm about to say it out loud. I do this. Okay. I do this on, and this is gonna sound bad too. I do this on Madden all the time. So Arthur probably shouldn't be doing this because I use it in a video game. But if I know I'm not stopping the offense well, instead of using one of my 3 before the 2-minute, I'll kind of assume I may give up a first down and save all 3 to where if I give up a first down on this next play,
then the game
stop. Won't automatically
be over. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I got that. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, you convinced me. That's an easy one to do. I get emotional. I'm like, but I mean, it's makes sense because with our defense, you can almost assume we're going to give up at least 1 first down.
One more, right? Yeah.
That does make sense. So, good call on that. So anyway, 2-minute warning. 2nd and 10 throw was a killer. Johnson gets it, first down. We still stop them, and they just choose to punt it instead of kick a field goal. They punt it down to the 2.
The perfect punt, bro.
Perfect punt, man. Georgia Tech's on, man.
And then, Georgia Tech's on.
Yeah, come back to, man. And then in the first play, man, all I did was tweet out about 30 different laughing faces because that's all I could do at that point, brother. That's all I could do. After this game, and then that was the perfect icing on the cake to end it. I was like, you got to be whatever. All right. And that's all I did. I couldn't stop laughing.
Like, when the perfect punt happened, I'm like, we're at the 2. Like, damn. Like,
yeah.
Damn. I was hoping so bad that Tomlin would attempt the field goal, but he made the right decision.
Agreed.
But yeah, I already knew. Like, I don't trust Marcus. Like, to gain
98 yards in 42 seconds. Yeah, and hell no.
Yeah, nah. And I was just thinking, okay, the game will probably end like someone catches a pass, doesn't get out of bounds or something like that. And it just happened so fast. Like I was barely sitting down ready to watch the drive. As soon as I saw down.
I was already computing in my head, like, all right, what do we need for field goal range? For Q, because we can what's his longest one? Oh, it's intercepted. Oh shit. There that goes.
Bro. And it's like when it happened, it was like, yep. Okay. Because, and I tweeted out, like, thank you. Like, just put me out of my misery right now. Don't complete 3 passes and then do something stupid. Just end it now. And he did that one thing for me. That's the first thing he's done for me all year.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I tweeted out something like as to the effect of, like, I don't care. I literally do not care what happens tomorrow night in the Bucs Saints game. Like, to me, like, if you don't start him now, Ritter, after this bye week, I mean, I don't know what you're doing at this point. Like, I literally have no idea what you're doing. Let's jump back in the chat real quick here. Des, what's up, buddy? He said it's Des time, man.
Yes, Des, it is Des time, for real.
Yep. He said Ritter will come and ball out. I hope, man. That's everybody's hope, buddy.
Who do we have right after the bye? Is it
Into the Saints?
Oh, it might be. Either the Saints or Arizona. Man. I can't remember which one. Arizona's in January. So
is it? Let me look real quick. I think. Let's see. Falcon schedule 2022. Yep. Saints December 18th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Why not? Perfect time. Let us first victory big against the Saints in New Orleans, man. How epic would that be?
How perfect would that be? I'm gonna say something. Because this is the last time I'm mentioning anything about the playoffs for the rest of the year. I just want to say this. If the Saints do win tonight, that clusters everybody up to that little half game thing. If they win tonight and Desmond Ritter starts and beats them at home and puts us back on track to possibly make the playoffs, I'm talking all my shit.
Oh my God. We're gonna have just one show just for that.
Yeah, literally just for that. People will not be able to take, like, they will mute me because I will be talking. I promise you.
Oh man, Jay, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in here, man. He said, "Man, Mariota's cooked and needs to be benched." Yes, he does. And for the love of God, can we cut Darren Hall? He's straight booty juice. Getting covered for cold, man. He ain't lying, man. He's been getting cooked these last few weeks, man. Just by everybody. He's had a rough go of it. I'll be honest. I mean, like, freaking damn, who we cut? It was the Giants.
Marlo?
No, from last year, or last my mind's
Moreau.
I'd take Fabian Moreau in a heartbeat right now.
Yeah, me too.
In a heartbeat, man.
I would too.
I think he's getting paid like $1 million or something out there. I mean, like, come on, bring him back.
And you know, it's so crazy. I actually liked Darren Hall.
I did too.
At the beginning of the year, I liked him coming out of San Diego State. He's a little small, but I felt like, in a little bit we did see of him last year, he was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like him having to step up and be a true CB2, it hasn't worked out.
No, and he came out and said, like, when he first got the job from Casey, when Casey got hurt, I mean, like, he came out saying all the right things. He had that, like, kind of just, like, well, I'm not worried about who I got to guard. They got to worry about me. Like, all the right mentality you want to hear, but like, he doesn't have the play to back it up, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah. Jojo, what's up, Ski? He said, "Hey guys, have a nice show." This is our buddy over in Germany, so he's about to probably hit the bed, man. All the best to Mike. Hope he's better, but he's feeling better, man. He's just dealing with some other stuff he's got to take care of, but he'll be back on the show at some point. He said, "Start Ritter." Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And then Des said, "Michael Pro at tight end 1." With the laughing face.
Yes, sir.
Well, didn't he tie Kyle today with the amount of touchdowns for the season?
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
Streets are talking. Is Michael Pruitt tight end 1? I don't know.
Big Pop said Drake was 5 yards away from being our first 100-yard receiver this season. Man,
that is, my heart broke when Drake split open on the deep ball, because that would have been it. That would have been the Drake London 6 reception, 120-yard, 1 touchdown game. That would have been Drake's, like, I'm here game. Even though he still had a really good game, but that just would have solidified everything, man.
Yeah, and James James Loftus said earlier in the broadcast, he said like he goes, I know there's not a lot of pressure on Drake, but he is like the first wide receiver picked, and he's like he hasn't had as many catches as other guys with more catches. I'm like, dude, it's because who's throwing the ball. It's not because of not because of the receiver himself. I mean, like he's
because I've got news for the NFL right now. I got news for the NFC South right now. Let the Falcons figure out this quarterback situation, bro. Drake London is going to be very, very good, and so is Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
So have your fun right now, because it's all fun until the rabbit got the gun. I'm telling you, those guys are going to be an elite duo. Just get the right quarterback.
I agree. I mean, I think that comparison with Mike Evans with Drake is going to be kind of spot on when it's all kind of, because he's got the same body type. He's got everything about that kind of makes sense to me. Des and Arthur said when asked about the QB situation, everything's on the table. Yeah, and I'll actually that's a good little segue, Des. I'll get into what Arthur said after the game because I watched it just before the show, and he was very his mood was definitely subdued. Like he wasn't his typical kind of feisty kind of, like he wasn't his, because Fleek, I don't know, you've seen him, he gets feisty after the games and he'll come back he was not that way. He was just more subdued and kind of like just kicked in the balls type of just, like, man, like
he was
this
humbled, bro.
I think so. I think it was just like, this is all kind of like, okay, it's kind of come to a head now. I can kind of see it, but I think there's a few questions about Marcus, and the guys were smart because I think that Ross Dean and Josh Kendall and all the guys and Torrey McElwain that cover the team, I think they've realized by now that if they ask a direct question about Marcus, he's not going to answer it anyway. He's going to deflect it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's going to deflect it and say something else. So like they kind of just throw that Marcus into a general question about the team, and he's and so when they ask him about like making a change, he said, you don't want to overreact and be emotional. You want to make sure you're doing the right thing. But yeah, everything, like Des said, like everything's on the table. He said there's plenty of examples out there where a change does come in and make a spark, but we're gonna have to take a look at it. And it's fair because you just finished the game. I mean, like we're emotional. We're just fans. We just watch the game. He's got to actually make decisions for the team. So yeah, of course he's gonna want to go back, watch the film, talk with his coaching staff and obviously the players and see what, and see what's the best option. But I mean, in his gut and in my gut, watching him talk about it, I'm like, Desmond starting. Like and I could be wrong, but man, just watching him, like he said, I've got my own thoughts about it. Like, so like everything that he said, maybe it's me wanting to read in between the lines and see that, but like, I just really, really feel like, okay, man, like I really think that, okay, today was obvious. Like there were some clear overthrows, and like somebody asked him about making a change too, and he said, "Well, obviously, I was on Marcus' way." So he said, "Well, none of us is perfect, obviously." And like so,
obviously,
but he said overall there was not enough plays today or possessions. He said there's too many third and longs, and the defense, he said even though the defense made stops, like we've got to do a better job of getting off the field quicker because, like we I just talked about those long drives just kill an offense's chance. So I mean, but anyway.
And I'll say this about Arthur Smith, man, and the whole QB situation, right? Well, first of all, about Arthur Smith and how he talks. I believe last time I was on here, we talked about how you can kind of read in between what Arthur Smith says because you can kind of tell how he reacts, how he's actually feeling.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's humbled today, the fact that he hasn't just jumped right out and said there is no situation or Mariota or I will say this. He brought Mariota back, and he gave Mariota the fairest of shakes that a QB could get because he made every excuse for Marcus. When he did that, when he had a terrible game in Carolina, Arthur Smith said the weather was bad, and, we got behind. He may have tried to force some things, but you can't just make a decision like that over a game like this. He came out after every time we got in the uproar, and said it was Ritter time from week 4 to now. He's come out and he's still behind Marcus, and he gave him the fairest of chances. And I feel like after today, because either Marcus will play really bad, but somehow we'd win. So you won't bench a guy after a loss. Or we'd lose and there'd be some kind of excuse like the weather was bad or, we were pressing, But today, there was no excuse. The plays were there. The receivers were open. You missed the throws. All of them. Not all of them, obviously, but most of them.
A solid amount, yeah. He was
some very important throws.
13 for 24, 167, a tutty and an interception.
Yeah. He just, and some of the decision making just isn't all there as well. And my guy on Twitter, Cage Fighter, tweeted out, there's a rookie facing an 8-year vet right now, and you can't even tell which one is which, because if you look at the stats, they're almost the same.
Kenny was 16 for 28, 197 yards, 1 touchdown. That's his fourth week in a row now with no picks. So
you see what I'm saying?
And yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's 100%. And Pop said, "Am I the only one that thinks Hawkins is always late to his spots or always out of position?" He's had a rough go of it. I think in these last 3 or 4 weeks, even like looking at PFF. I mean, the week before last, he had like a 35 score, which is beyond terrible for a PFF. I don't know what it'll be this week, but both safeties have had a rough go the last couple of games.
Yeah, man, it's tough because I like Jalen, but he has had a rough few weeks. And the thing is, with a guy like Richie, I feel like no matter how many weeks in a row he struggles, I feel like he's definitely back, because he was a 2nd-round pick. Like, he's supposed to be your top dog safety. So you're going to give him at least one more go at it. Thing with Jalen is there's really no commitment to Jalen like there is to Richie, at least I don't feel like. And I know my guy Adam is always saying, we need to throw a bag at Jesse Bates in free agency.
I'm down.
You know what I'm saying? And I like Jalen, and I think he's grown a lot since he's come into the league. But I just still think he has a ways to go. And if you can get someone better, do it for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was looking to see, because to me, like, I feel like he needs to eat a couple of burgers, man. Like, he seems like he's his frame for, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like we have a. I know they don't really use free safety and strong safety classifications a lot anymore, but it seems like we have 2 free safeties to me.
Yeah, exactly right.
Instead of a strong and a free.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to look at his current contract. So he signed a 4-year, basically $4 million contract. Yeah. So, and that's 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. So, I mean, 24, he's unrestricted free agent. So, I don't think his position is locked down by any stretch of the imagination, really.
Yeah,
and he was 4th round pick,
right?
Like Cal. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Like you spent the 4th round pick on him, so there is no commitment. But you also brought in a guy who, if we do move on from him, he was at least serviceable enough to be on a bend but don't break defense. He's made plays. He's gotten turnovers at times where it counts the most, a few games. So a part of me could be speaking from a what have you done for me lately kind of standpoint, because I think he's still been in the right place at the right time on some things, but it is usually on tip passes. And I feel like that's usually when you're a step late. You get those tip balls when you're right there, but you didn't make it.
Exactly.
You get those tip ball interceptions. He's the king of that, so you might be on to something.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Jay said Arthur Smith knows he can't vouch for Mariota now that we're losing. He has to make a change. It makes it tougher, man. Makes it a lot tougher. I mean, you especially when you don't have any numbers to back it up. When your quarterback's not going out there and because I had somebody responded to one of my tweets during the game and was like, or after the game was like, if we won, we're not you're not even talking about this. No, complete bullshit. I'm still talking about this because it wouldn't matter. He wasn't the reason we won the game. The reason I mean, like, if we started running the ball, which brought us back,
exactly.
It wasn't the quarterback who brought us back. We had to start running to get back into the game. And so, and then, okay, we're last drive, first play is just picked. Like,
it's an interception, man.
Dude, I mean, like I said, I hate to continue to crap on him, but like he's not doing anything to help his cause, man. It's just
not at all. And you know what? Maybe if we had won this game, there may be a way to defend him in Arthur Smith's mind. There may be a way to string him along until the next game, and then the next game, and then he finish out the season. But and we don't know that Ritter is starting for sure, like you said.
No.
But I do have a feeling that this is the week. If not this week, he won't start for the rest of the season, I think. Or after the bye week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said in the last show, if we go this entire season, we don't make the playoffs and we don't start him, what was the point?
What did you get? What did you gain out of the entire season if that happens?
But yeah, because you're going into, like I said, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but you're going into next year with all this money to spend, and you don't know where you're at with your quarterback situation. Like, you have to know that, man. Like, if you don't know who that is, then that's going to limit you with like the amount of guys that want to come play here, because a lot of these guys, especially guys that are ring chasing, if you're in the mode, like for any of those guys, like they want to go to a spot where like the QB position is locked in. They knew who their guy is, not like, okay, we're going to bring Marcus is coming back and Desmond's going to challenge him for the job type of thing. That just seems like a bad recipe.
And what's more attractive in this NFL than a young quarterback with potential? There's nothing hotter right now in the NFL. Thanks to guys like Mahomes and Burrow and Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. Everybody's looking for that next star. Mm-hmm. So if a guy sees a young, athletic quarterback who can make plays, get outside of the pocket, extend plays and stuff like that, they're attracted to that stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. That's the problem, is we have too many starters that are essentially good backups. And hopefully that will change in 23 with the cap space. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And I don't want people to think that I'm saying that Desmond is going to come in and we're going to go undefeated.
Correct.
That's not the point. The point is you're seeing what you have, because the way we're playing, we may end up in that top 10 and that top 7. You just don't know in the draft to where you can make a play on a potential quarterback. And if you don't know what your situation is, really, because you can't feed me that, Arthur sees him in practice every week. And I get that. I understand that. But you don't know how he is in actual game time situations until he's in those game time situations.
Yep.
Look at Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was taken number 2 overall, right? And you say, well, he wasn't overthrowing screen passes at BYU. What changed? Obviously, the speed of the game and everything changes, but he can't complete a pass to a receiver right there anymore. And he was picked number 2. So it's like nothing's guaranteed in the NFL. Yes, but you have to know. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
We're already going through pain right now and losing. Why not figure some things out while we do it?
Yeah, to me, these last 4 weeks, you have to play anybody you're on the fence about. They need to be in the game, because especially if the Bucks win tomorrow, then we have to have any guy. Like, I don't give a damn if it's Jalen Mayfield. If he's capable to play, then okay, let's see. Has he gotten any better? Is his back decent enough now to hold up against anybody? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so literally, you need to see and make, these last 4 weeks, see what you have. Because like I said, I don't want anybody coming at us and saying, if Ritter sucks, I'm like, see, y'all won a river now. No. We want to see what we got. That's the difference. Right, exactly. It's like, I'm not saying to come in. Like, I hope he comes in balls. That'd be great. Like you said, I will do an entire show for us to come on and talk shit about it. But if it doesn't happen, then okay, that's fine. We found out. So now we have to make a plan for next season. Do we go out and find a QB to come in, or are we shooting for one of these guys in the draft, or are we taking our ass off for Caleb Williams in 24? So, I mean,
somebody has to, yep. Because I am not opposed, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll talk about him in a few minutes. And Big Pop said also Troy is taking more snaps each week from Michael Walker. Don't even think I've seen him in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
Troy is definitely moving up.
Yeah, I think so too. I think his second and third year is going to be pretty special years for that guy, especially because smart dude already. Athleticism obviously is there. So I mean, some of the stuff that he struggles with now, that'll get cleaned up. Some of the, and I think that's just him. I mean, any defensive player acclimating to a NFL defense is going to take time, but especially with Dean Pease's scheme and everything, like that's going to be a little bit more difficult for him. So as we've seen with all the rookies that we've had,
for sure.
Yeah, just looking back at the stats quickly, like you said about Evans, he had 15 tackles today.
Right, which sounds crazy. Sounds amazing, but like, I don't know, man. You just can't see it. Like, you see them happen, but they're not impactful. That's what I say. They're not tackles for losses.
Yeah. Drake was 6 for 95, man, with 37 yards was his longest one. He had 12 targets, which is probably more than he's had in the last 3 weeks combined.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's how a guy like Drake London should be targeted, in my opinion.
100%. You got to give him a chance, like, and not overthrow him. Like, yeah.
Out of those 12 targets, he could have caught 9 of them if they had been, a little bit. Yeah.
Running wise, Cordarrelle 11 carries for 60 yards, so almost 6 yards a clip there, close to it. Tyler Algier 10 for 52, 5.2 yards a clip. Merida had his 3 runs for 17, and Caleb 4 for 17. So we still ran for 146 yards, and most of that was in the second half.
Yeah, it was. How many yards did we run for in the first half? Was it 26 or like 56 or something like
20
that?
something? Yeah, it was low. It was
like
real
26,
low.
Man.
Yeah, it was stupid low. And then Najee was 17 for 86. I'll tell you, I mean, as much tackles as he broke, that's actually a pretty decent line. I mean, like,
it is.
I thought it would have been actually worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I did a little tweet as well. I did a little poll for people. And I told, I basically, it was perfect timing too, looking now how this game is panned out. We find it on here. Because I did say I would read out some of the replies as well. So I got to hold up my end of the bargain on that one. All right. So the tweet was, oh shoot, hang on. Let me jump back in there real quick before I do that. Des said Lorenzo Carter thought he did play well. He did play well.
I like Lorenzo, man. I kind of want him back.
I do too. When I filled in with JR last week on the Pound for Pound show, one of the guys commented that he thought Zoe was trash. He didn't see him do anything, and I was like, dude, you like setting the edge doesn't show up on the stat line, like that type of thing that we could not do last year. Like, when you do that and force the running back inside to guys that are going to tackle him, that's him doing his job at that point.
That's impact.
So exactly. So I mean, and yeah, I agree that he's not you don't want him to be the premier pass rusher that you have. Like, you want to be part of a good rotation, like that you can use. But yeah, I'm all about bringing him back. I thought he and he actually got, like I said, in that first half, actually, he was getting pretty good pressure. I mean, so I had no issue with him at all. Jay said, we need defensive help bad. Grady Jarrett has disappeared since TQ. Yeah, dude, it's made a difference, hasn't it?
Man, I mean, TQ. Oh, how I miss TQ.
And people were shitting on him, dude, before he got hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. You don't know what you have till it's gone, guys.
And I mean, it's not. And look, I think Abdullah and Horn are doing an amicable job, of filling in. But you can tell there's a difference, man.
Yeah,
there's just difference.
Falcon,
what's up, brother?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say on the TQ thing, Horn and is it Anderson? Yeah, Dalton, Horn and Anderson and Dalton, they're all doing very well. It's not like teams are just busting 20-yard runs on the Falcons all the time. That's not how the games are going.
Yeah.
But TQ was in the backfield a lot, man, as well as Grady.
Yeah, well, the difference is a lot of times it would take 2 guys for TQ as well. Like,
exactly.
Even on a run play, like, you got to have it's 2 guys have to, and same with Grady. So that's why you saw Grady getting some of that pressure and some of those stops. I mean, it made sense. But anyway, False Start Falcon, what's up, buddy? He said, well, what's going on, guys? It's Ritter time. Coach said after the game, all options are on the table. And about man, we just talked about it a little bit ago. That's what we felt. That's what I feel too. And I don't know how you guys felt watching if you guys that watched the conference. I just felt like his body language was different, his tone was different. Like, he wasn't his normal surly self. Like, it just seemed to me like he just kind of, like Fleek said, he kind of humbled by like, okay, I accept it now. So I mean, we'll see. So my poll was, and I just said, just a quick temp check for you guys. With the bye week coming up after the Steelers game. You can, as I said, you can comment if you have another comment if you don't agree with any of these options. Is it the perfect time for Ritter? It depends on the standings, or you stay with Marcus regardless. So 7% said stay with Marcus regardless. I don't know how they feel now. I would like to know how you feel now, though. I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
And depends on the standings was 38%, which I kind of get. But still, I don't know. Like, I think we were all like last week's version of Marcus against the Washington is kind of what you expect. Like, he missed some throws, but today they were just glaring, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Glaring.
Some of the deep balls.
Yeah.
10, 15 yards.
No idea where they're going. No idea. Yeah. And then it wasn't, and there was, one, he was, pocket was, he just threw it. I understand that. Yeah. But the one where you had plenty of time, you stepped up and you, I don't even know. And then 55% said perfect time for Ritter. So obviously a lot of folks lot of folks on that train.
Yeah.
And then as far as some of the responses, let's see. Man, I gotta hang on. You can go whatever you want while I'm trying to find these.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say too, man, and don't let them fool you, man. The talk for wanting Ritter is not just a Twitter thing. The few games I went to earlier in the season, I went to the Browns, the Chargers, and the Panthers, and in every single one of those games, at least in the section that I was sitting in, there were chants for Ritter, and that started early in the year. So
I've seen signs too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there are signs. There have been signs for a while, and I think the culmination of the primetime game in Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
this game for sure, last game even,
Yeah.
and I will say sometimes Marcus gets, I think, a little bit more flack than he should for certain plays. Sometimes
Agreed.
it's not all his fault,
Yep.
but he's just been so bad consistently that when anything happens, it's just like, oh, I just want to see Ritter. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. I just want to see Ritter now. Like,
Yeah, and
you know
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying. I mean, the inconsistency is what's been killing you because, like, when you have those open plays, those are the plays that most NFL starters make those passes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, somebody said last week, I can't remember who it was, on the chat. Actually, I think it might have been Gabriel in the chat said, you know, you cannot consistently win throwing under 200 yards every game,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can't. You just can't. I mean,
It can't.
that's never happened. So, in response to that tweet, got a few of them. Victor Herrera said, win or lose, we should realistically see Ritter as an improvement over Mariota. With that being said, doesn't mean he won't have his rookie struggles, but has good run game, good enough receiving options. Pitt's injury may have put a hold on the Ritter possibly, which I never thought about that actually, with Pitts going down, actually maybe delaying a little bit because that is one less
Yeah.
option. But I think even
That's
with
true.
that, it doesn't change the offense. I mean, that changes the offense. Don't get me wrong, but like
Yeah.
you have, like he said, I mean, we're still going to be a run first no matter what, and you got
Yeah.
guys that can get in there and block. I mean, I'm not worried about, you know, Parker Hesse and McCole Pruitt not being able to block because that's what they
Right. Yeah.
do. I
That's
mean, you
what they
know.
do for sure.
And then NC at NCC Gaming 02 said 0% for Mariota, as all things should be. I guess that's whenever he looked at it. Falcons baby said, if we win, stick with Marcus. If we lose, play Ritter. All right. Well, by that token, we'd be going with Ritter.
Yeah.
Ski said, I already know Ski's thoughts. He said it's definitely Ritter time. Continue to start Mariota gets us nothing.
Yeah.
Andy at NDS Gallagher said it's perfect time to see what we have in Ritter, but I would be stunned if he got the start. I wouldn't be as stunned now
Anymore. Yeah.
anymore. I kind of would have agreed with you before, but maybe not now. Josh Wills said would vote perfect time for Ritter, but that was 4 weeks ago.
Absolutely. Who said that?
That was at Josh Wills. Yeah.
Oh, that's my guy. Shout out, Josh.
Yeah. That was it was a good call there. And then Bern Bacchus said, and I hope I get your last name right. If I don't, just tell me because feel like I'm not for some reason. But anyway, he said none of it. When Smith believes Ritter is better than Mariota, Ritter will be in the Falcons starting quarterback. Regardless of the standing, it doesn't help anyone to see him earlier, at least if you want to give Ritter a fair chance. And we went back and forth a little bit about it. I just said, I brought up the fact that Moose said a few weeks ago that he's been a play away, apparently, from starting all year long. We didn't know that, going in because he's never said that to our media.
Right.
He's just basically just deflected everything.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you are giving him a fair chance, man. Like I said, you see quarterbacks across the league and thrown into starting positions far less mature, far less experienced than what Desmond has. Desmond's a 4-year starter, man. He'll be fine. Like I said, I don't understand all the people that are worried about his emotional well-being. Like he's going to be just fine.
The thing is, the guy, I think he only lost 2 or 3 games in college, and he went and stood tall every Saturday night at Cincinnati. He was a 4-year starter. His composure, which I thought was kind of well known. That's one of the things we liked about him the most. In fact, a friend of mine, I don't know if you want me to say it, but he always joked about Ritter, and he always called him Mitter. And he always called him Mitter. And he always said, you draft a bad quarterback when the thing you like about him is his confidence and his composure. Like, it's things that's like, it's not athletic things, right?
Mm.
But to me, those are the things that made Dak Prescott good coming in.
Yeah.
Those are the things that he built on and became an even better quarterback later on. So Like, I think Desmond is going to be fine no matter what. I don't think he's a guy that's going to come in and if he throws an interception, think he sucks all of a sudden. Like,
No.
oh my God, he doesn't strike me as that type of person. He's very mature for his age. You know what I'm saying? He has a family. He's a grown man. He will be okay. He's in the NFL for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not like Arthur Smith took him just to have him ride the bench. I mean, if there was a chance that Marcus Mariota wasn't that guy, and fast forward now we see he isn't, these last 4 or 5 games, this is what you drafted Desmond Ridder for. Now let's see what you have.
Yeah. If he gives you a spark, great. If he doesn't, okay, then you know
that's fine too.
You got something else you got to worry about, you know. So I mean, like, and that's 100% agreement. When we drafted Desmond, I was like, I was just kind of lukewarm on it. I was like, all right, you know, we'll see. You know, third round, if we get a backup out of a third round, all right. You know, it's not, if it was the first round, totally different. Because then you're like banking on him to be like good, you know.
I was gonna say my brand was gonna have a lot riding on Ridder because I wanted Ridder in the second. I wanted Ridder at 43. But that didn't happen, and the fact that we got him in the third made it 10 times better for me because then you're not hitching your wagon to him. You know what I'm saying? Now, to me, it's only up from here because if he isn't the guy, all right, we're moving on. We're figuring things out. It's only up.
And I watched a decent, actually more than a decent amount of his college, not just what I watched on TV, but when we went back and we did our draft, you know, evaluations prior to the season. When we did QBs, I mean, I watched a lot of his film, and I mean, to me, it looked like his arm was actually stronger in the preseason. Like it looked like, you know, he did some work, and it looked like the ball was coming out. Yeah, it looked like the ball was coming out quicker, and it was, you know, getting there. In the game that you and I were at, and Mike and JR actually, the last preseason game. I mean, Mike and I were down close to the sideline, and like Arthur was chewing his ass after a few of the, you know, plays he didn't. I think one of the picks he threw. I think it's the only pick he threw, but like. And then, you know, later in the game, you see him down there on the bench. Arthur with his arm around him, you know, like talking to him. But like, and I think the press actually asked him after the game, like, man, like, you know, like about that whole incident or whatever. And he's like, no, he's like, he said Desmond appreciates that type of coaching. He actually likes that type of coaching. So that should tell you right there. Like if he's that type of guy that can just take that, you know, and wants that type of, like, that's the mentality you want, number one. So I'm not worried about him. Absolutely. Like you said, I'm not worried about making a pick and like going to the sideline and shaking. Like, I mean, I think he'll be just fine, man. Desmond said playing Ridder will change the whole dynamic of the offense. I'd like to think it would, man. I'd like to think he could make some of these passes that are being missed now. And if those get made, then we win some more games.
You said that, John, because I was going to say, I feel like there are maybe 5 to 10 passes just this season that I can point to and say, if that ball is completed, we probably win this game.
100%.
And
100%. I mean, we're having a different conversation. Yeah. Totally. False Start said he'll be okay. Our receivers are getting separation. They're usually open, but the ball is too high or whatever. Even when the type of windows they're able to make the tough catches. Yeah. And dude, why does everybody think the odds is like 6'5"? Why are we throwing jump balls in, by the way, in the middle of traffic?
Oh my gosh. Just decision making, man. It's not there.
If you're in trouble, there was 3 dudes around Oz, if not 4. Where's Drake at? Like, he's the bigger guy. Just find him and throw it toward him.
Just find him. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
And one more response to that tweet. Chris Jameson, who's our buddy, Oregon fan, so this should come to no shock, said, I'm going to go down with the ship with Marcus at the helm. And I told him, I said, buddy, your loyalty is to be respected. And that's all I got to say.
That's a fact.
And that is a fact. So, I mean, so, yeah, man. So, yeah, overall, man, I mean, actually, hang on. But let me jump back into here. Des said the Falcons were always in on Ridder doing the draft evaluations. They sent everyone to his draft day. They know they have a good QB or they wouldn't have him as a backup. Yeah, another good point. Yeah, I mean, that's another, I think during that same broadcast that Daryl Johnson was on, he said that's the reason why we never brought in a veteran quarterback, is because they knew that they had enough faith in Desmond that if something would happen to Marcus, that he could step right in and, and they had full confidence in him and that he would be fine. And, and I know you've seen the same takes, people saying, well, he must suck if he can't get on the field. The dude's not, like I said this before, he's not getting first team snaps. That doesn't happen in the NFL. It does not happen. Yeah. Like, you don't split time. It's not college, man. Like even that barely happens in college. I mean, like, if you're QB1, you get all the snaps because there's so few to be had. You get them all with the first team. So, I think I think Arthur's gonna have a few rough nights of sleep because I think I think in his heart, like he doesn't want to do it because of he's brought Mariota back, gave him a second chance, and it's just not working. I mean, like it started off okay. Again, the Bucs doing what they're doing got everybody's hopes up a little bit and kind of kept us in it. And honestly, realistically, probably kept Marcus in as a starter longer than anybody, longer than I wanted. I mean, like I was cool with him starting through, like, I think when we all talked about it earlier in the season, we were like, yeah, probably like week 8, was about where we wanted to see, that'd be enough time for us to figure out. We figured we'd be like, 2-6, by then, or 3-3, something like that. And nobody saw, 4-4, and then possibly being 5-4, and
Oh my gosh,
the
good old days.
I mean, just crazy, man.
The good old days.
Oh my gosh!
I was just telling my dad, we were talking about going into work the day after a loss and the day after a win, and I was telling him after we beat Carolina at home, I walked into work the next day feeling like a king. Oh my gosh! And now it's just like I'm dragging my coat behind me when I walk in on Monday mornings.
Yeah, man, and it's so funny. Like I was talking with JR too last week when we did the show. Like it's funny. Like since we started doing the shows, you'll probably see this too. Is after the win, everybody wants to talk about it, and like after a loss, like fuck that team, I ain't talking about them, man. I'm talking about them next week, man. And so but it depends, like like the whole QB situation has been such a polarizing talk all year long. So I think this week is finally coming to a head. Like if you're defending Marcus still now, like you're just doing it because you love the man. That's period. It like end of story. Like that's nothing. Like there's nothing else you can say. Like you can't. Yes, you can point to the one drop and say, yes, Drake should have had that, and Hodge should have had their 2 drops. That's on them for sure. The other 8 that were overthrown or so, like, come on, man. Like, got it.
What's the excuse for that one? I told my girlfriend earlier, man, I said, I feel so bad talking about such a great human being this way.
Right.
But as a quarterback, this ain't it.
Yeah, man. He's got, I mean, look, he does fantastic work with the MMA Foundation, which I even retweeted this week. I mean, him and Matt, actually, Ryan got together and like with advancing the lives and everything. Like, just awesome, dude. Like,
absolutely.
It's I as a quarterback for my team, I just don't want that. That's all.
Right.
That's it. And false start Falcon. When I saw Mariota running 7-7 on 7 drills, and then the off season, I knew something was going to go crazy.
Man.
I mean, they did say in the broadcast he's ran more this year than he has in his career.
I mean, this is most rushing yards he's ever had in a season, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, like that's something he does do well. It's just it's the other part that we need for the quarterback to do better. But yeah, man. So we'll see how this. I think this bye week's gonna be super, super interesting. There's gonna be a lot because if they're going to make the switch, you would think they would make it very quickly so he can get these reps next week with the first team, and going into the second week, because you want to get him all that he can possibly get. So if it's going to happen, I think we'll probably know by early next week.
Absolutely.
And I honestly though, man, if we don't, I don't know what we're doing. Like and I hate to jump on Arthur because and Mike's been super critical of Arthur too when it comes to that. Like he always says, like, if I can understand your logic, I can kind of get to it. I can see it. I can I mean, I agree with it, but I can kind of see where you're coming from, and that's fine. We can ride with that. Yeah, I'm at this point with him. Like if I cannot understand the logic if he's still there at that point.
I'll say, like, after today, I wouldn't understand it either. I had at first I didn't understand it 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago after the Panthers game. I just thought for sure after the helicopter throw, I just thought for sure. I just know this is it.
Yeah.
But even more so right now in this moment, I just know this is it. And if it isn't, then I'm like you and I'm like Mike. I just wouldn't understand it. Arthur Smith comes off to me as a guy with integrity, and I know he wanted Marcus to succeed here. I know he didn't bring Marcus here just to start Ritter. He didn't bring Marcus here to fail. Yeah. He gave Marcus another shot. Think about it. Before the season, there were people thinking, man, could Marcus Mariota revive his career? This was that shot for him. So this was huge for Mariota.
Yeah.
And it just didn't go the way they wanted it to go. And with 4 or 5 games left in the season, with a slim chance at the playoffs, with a bye week and a chance to incorporate the rookie quarterback into the offense with the ones for a week and a half before you even play a game, that's just too good of an opportunity to me. And if we don't start Ritter, then I'm kind of lukewarm on the season. I'm kind of
me too.
I'm watching the games, obviously rooting for my team.
Yeah,
but I'm not as excited.
Yeah.
If Ritter comes in the game, whether there's playoff hopes or not, I'm excited every game because I'm seeing my guy. Is this my guy or is it not?
Yeah, I mean, going into the season, I realistically had some pretty basic goals for the team, and that was I wanted to see us compete in every game, like not get blown out. Make sure that we were. I mean, even if we lost, as long as we're competing our ass off, that's fine. See the young guys on defense get better, make another step in from last year, and 3 was to find out the quarterback situation. Like that's, and so I think if you don't, at least if you don't find that out, then you're doing yourself a disservice and the team a disservice because. I don't think it's a situation like it was with Alex Smith and Mahomes where you sit him the entire year, and because Alex Smith is not Marcus Mariota.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you know
the thing.
what I mean? Like
Alex Smith was very serviceable.
Right. It's a little different. I mean, like this is the fact where you kind of need to know, you don't want to write. And if if we do end up not bringing Marcus back on that option, that's another $9 million, another $9 million or so, $10 million that adds to the I don't know.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they gave him the type of deal they gave him for a reason. It was set up in a way to where you could be a one and done type of thing.
It's a 2-year deal with a 1-year. It's a 1-year option. It's basically a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, they can choose to take it or not. Foster helicopter. Yeah, that's what it was, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking flailing on the ground, and that was our pinned tweet for a while, and I felt bad about it, so I took it down. So
you're a good man, John.
That's, I mean, All right, so we got and Des said at least we all get a break this next week. I need it. Yeah,
Heaven knows we need it.
Yeah, we do.
Heaven knows.
Our emotions need it for sure. Although,
bro, what? Hey, Josh, actually, one of the guys who sent in a reply to your poll.
Yeah.
I'm in a group chat with him, and at the end of the game, he said, "Well, on the bright side, we get to see Ritter next week." And I said, "No, I have even better news for you. We get a bye week. We don't have to see this team at all.
See nobody.
Even better news."
Yeah, we say that though. The next Sunday we're gonna be sitting there going, "Damn, why the Falcons play?"
Right. I wish we
were playing today. Damn it.
Yeah, so, I'll be over there sick next Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be trying to record and there's nothing to talk about. So
yeah,
I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be talking about Ritter getting these reps with the ones.
Yeah, man, and hearing those press conferences and seeing what that's like, and that would be ideal.
As soon as we hop off of here, man, I gotta watch that press conference that y'all were referencing, man.
Yeah, definitely. It. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. I want to know what your take is, because I think that's just kind of what I took from it.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, and I mean, the quarterbacks, obviously dominated the talk of that game, because that's people get on to us too, because it's not the only. We know what the defense is, man. Like, the defense is not good. They allow a ton of yards. They don't. But look, the bottom line is they allowed 19 points today.
Yeah.
So you hope you win a game that you hold a team to 19 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of the deal, And Arthur's right. Those long drives that go on forever, even though they end in 3 points, they got to get them off the field earlier, man. They kill you. So yeah, I mean, what Jay said earlier, I mean, all season's got to be up. I mean, whatever, man. Drawing Payne, whatever. Additions we can make on the D. I mean, let's go out and do it. Like, both,
please.
Yeah, because it's only gonna. I mean, we got to get obviously a corner opposite of whether that's Christian Gonzalez or go out there and get Joey Porter Jr. I mean,
please.
Either one.
A lockdown duo. I need it.
And I'm totally fine with Drake, because obviously Drake's going to be a great dude, but the guy I wanted all along was Sauce, and I keep imagining Sauce and AJ together. And I'm like, man, that'd be so nice. Like, how much better would our pass rush be with those two guys?
Man, I mean, like, our defense will look totally different. Our defense will be totally different. But we have a chance for that this season.
Yeah, we do.
So I will say,
still make it happen.
We're one opportunistic defense and one quarterback away from truly competing. I know we've been in the race this year because the rest of our division is really bad, but I think we can keep pace with guys starting next year if we figure out QB and can get some pieces on defense. We're actually in a race.
Yeah, I think of all the teams with Brady getting, he'll be what, 64 next year. Of all the
something like that.
Of all the teams in our division, I think that we're set up the best, to have success, like short and long-term success, as long as we don't miss, like completely swing and miss it, guys. And some of these free agent, pickups all this dead cap we're getting off the books. All that stuff, it's all positive. So, that's, and so far, from what I've seen for the majority of Fontenot and Smith is they can evaluate pretty well. So far, they're going to miss. That's going to you can't be 100%,
for sure.
But I feel confident that they can make better decisions and get some good guys in there. But so anyway, what I was saying about the game. So the defense obviously let us down. The running the ball. I'm not sure why we didn't start that late. I know he said because they stacked the box earlier, but still, you got to find out, make them prove it first, and then Marcus just dominated the talk. But so we'll wrap that up, and we'll talk a few minutes about college, and we'll get out of here and go watch some football. I'm watching Miami and San Francisco on the side too as well.
Oh,
and that's actually a pretty good one. It's actually Tua just threw a pick.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's 7. I think it was 7. It was 17 to 10. That's a hell of a pick by Ward too. No, 49ers.
Oh, okay. I heard Jimmy G got carted off early.
He did, yeah. 17-10, 49ers. Man. Yeah. I think the first play of first drive of the game too. I didn't see it happen because I was watching the other one. But anywho, so man, the college CFB bracket came out today. I wasn't surprised. Georgia number 1, Michigan 2, TCU 3, Ohio State 4. With USC losing the other night to Utah. Which did you watch that game?
Oh, I watched it. Well, I watched the first half. I kind of fell asleep, and I woke up and there was a blowout at the end. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah, man. Cam Rising, man. Like I don't know. Like I haven't dug deep enough. I've seen a couple of his games. That dude, man, he's a
fighter, bro.
He's a fighder. Like that's probably the best way to say it. He's a fighter. Because
he's a fighter.
He took a shot in that game, dude. That got. If y'all haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It got blown.
I went back and watched it.
And he just got right back up, looked for his helmet, put it on him. Like, geez, man, that's a hell of a hit. But
and we're on to the next play.
Yep. But Caleb Williams, man, I think he did his thing best he could. Their defense looked like our defense. They couldn't tackle nobody.
Yeah, their defense. That's been the downfall of USC. If they were gonna lose and miss out on the playoffs, their defense was definitely the reason. And
for sure.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And I saw Coach Saban on last night at halftime talking about, trying to make Bama's case for, getting into the playoffs or whatever. And, his point was basically, you take the two teams that are on the edge, and if they played them, would they be underdogs, and if that's the answer is no, then is really the top 4 teams getting in. I get it, because Nick's gonna have to say what he has to say to get his boys in, because he's not gonna sit there and say like we don't deserve it, because that's not what he's paid to do. Sure. He's gonna try to get his guys in. But he knows as well as we all do. Like, and you and I both being Bama fans, like, don't lose those 2 games. Don't lose one of those games.
Yeah.
Like, be better.
Oh my gosh,
you know what I mean?
I couldn't believe we lost that game to LSU.
No, me either. Then you see how Georgia just dog walks him. You're like, dude.
And that's another thing. Realistically, if we were to squeeze into the college football playoffs at number 4, you don't want to play Georgia right now.
Exactly.
You don't want that. So,
and as I was talking to somebody else who's a fan too, and I was like, man, I said, even if we got in, like my confidence level is so low when it comes to because it's not the same defense. In my opinion, both coordinators got to go. O'Brien couldn't find a job quick enough, and then Golding, I'm good on him too. But I don't think it'd have been ugly against Georgia, I think so.
Yeah, then you got, a lot of guys have already announced they're hitting the transfer portal and stuff. Obviously they would focus up for the college football playoffs if they would squeeze in, but I'm just saying there's some level of relaxation already. They're just getting to their bowl game on the 31st or whatever, and that's it, man. Like, they weren't in that mentality. I'm sure some of the guys were really, really like, please, like, how can we get in? But like there are guys who've announced what they're gonna do with their futures, and like they're just ready to go ahead and get it past.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, and that TCU Kansas State game was an awesome game to watch.
Oh my gosh. What is his name? Is the quarterback's name Duncan?
Max Duggan.
Duggan?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Had himself a game, man.
Bro, and that last drive to tie the game before overtime, man, what a dog. That just, for some reason, watching that reminded me of Tim Tebow. Because just the mindset of like a quarterback in college, just like, you know what? I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not letting us lose. That's just what it felt like. I'm not letting us lose. And like he did his thing, man. So that's why I couldn't even be mad at that decision. They fought so hard, and we play Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl, don't we?
Yeah,
so
I think
that should be a good game too. So you know, I know a lot of people are probably going to sit that one out, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of, I don't know if you've seen this too. A lot of folks, I mean, will say Will Anderson's going to be dropping because of the season that he's had. You know, hasn't had as good a season as he had last year. Seeing more of a project. I mean, if he drops, then
please let him drop.
Come on,
please let Will Anderson drop.
Yeah, because if that's the project, then I'm all aboard that project. I'll take that project because
I promise you.
If he's getting these, with the season he had, he still led all of college football with QB pressures.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's on the higher end in sacks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. He had a down year, but
I'll be interested to watch. Like when we start delving into the film, that's definitely one guy I want to watch, obviously more closely and see kind of where he got, you know, where some of the issues came up.
Yeah,
because I mean, last year he was kind of just jumped on the scene. This year, obviously, guys are, you know, offenses are scheming directly to stop that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's probably part of it as well.
Yeah.
When you get on a team in the NFL, when you got multiple guys, you know, not the same thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like in 2020, like you said, he had 7 sacks, and obviously last year is when he had the explosion. He had 17 and a half, and this year he still has 10 sacks in the SEC. That's not bad at all. It's tied for 8th in college, but you know, let him fall, man. I definitely take that project, like you said, for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind Jalen Carter will be the first non-QB without a doubt. Like he had a ridiculous game.
That
I mean,
dude is a monster, bro.
Just a grown ass man. No doubt there. And I don't know how do you? We'll end it on this, man. How do you feel, Georgia? You think Ohio State's got a shot? Or you think Georgia's going to run roughshod over everybody they play?
I think Georgia's going to smack everybody they play. I would love for C.J. Stroud to push Georgia's defense as much as he could. I would love for it to be a good game. Hell, I'd love for OSU to win, to be honest.
Here.
But I don't know. You know, Georgia seems to sometimes play down to competition.
Agreed.
While still blowing the team out. They could blow a team out 60-14, but they'd win 35-14 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like in this college football playoffs, man, Georgia's just going to turn it up, and I just think they're going to send everybody packing.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I don't know what's the deal. Maybe we need to ask Damsky about CJ. Like, I don't know if he's been held back more by like the coach or the play calling. Because it just seemed like in that game against Michigan, like he didn't run as much as he could have run. Like he had chances and opportunities to take off, and he just stayed, you know, or chose to make a throw that wasn't there or whatever. And
he made some business decisions.
He really did. Yeah, I think if he uses his legs, I think he can really challenge. Georgia, but because I mean LSU could move the ball a lot at times. It was just a matter they kind of got going too late in the game as well. You know? So I mean, like that didn't help in some of the turnovers. But I think TCU Michigan is going to be a hell of a game. I think
that's going to be a good game too, bro.
Yeah,
I can't wait to watch. The committee set up 2 good games with the way they ranked it, so I think it should be some fun football to watch.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I would tend to think we're probably going to see a Georgia Michigan. That's just my early kind of guess.
That's what I'm thinking
national
too.
championship game. And last year, I thought Michigan. I said on the last show, I thought Michigan was going to give Georgia a game at least. You know, I thought it was going to be close, and they blew their ass out. So like, I think that this is a better Michigan team, and obviously Georgia taking a little step back. With some of the, I mean, they don't have all the first round talent they had last year. Yeah. But they're still a hell of a. I mean, Kirby's created Alabama East.
I was just gonna say Kirby and his staff have done it right, man. Kirby took everything he learned at Alabama and just brought it down to Georgia.
Like, I don't know about you, like I still part of me still roots for Kirby, like
that's the thing.
Because of what he did at Bama, like I still love Kirby. So like I have a hard time rooting against him because I love the guy. I think he's a real dude. He's a great coach, you know. So one of the guys on Twitter is a Bama fan. I can't remember his tag exactly, but it's like Boomer something. If you listen, man, I'm sorry, I'm screwing your tag up. But he was saying, man, I hate it when we play Bama players in the NFL, and I'm the same way. Like I hate like when Najee threw Richie to the turf. I was like, yeah, damn it! Like
right?
I was like, because you still root for your guys that went to the school that you like, but it sucks when they're playing against you. It's the same thing like watching B-Rob last week. I'm like, part of me is really proud of the guy. Then I'm like, part of me is just like, damn it, dude! Like, why you gotta do it against us?
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I just want us to go out and sign those guys. I want those guys to be on our team so we can.
That's what I'm saying. That's why having Julio here was like heaven on the team, and then having Calvin.
Yeah, dude, Mark Ingram going to the Saints like destroyed my soul because I've got a signed football from Mark, right? So it's Heisman Trophy. Wow. He signed it, like that was my dude. And he signed with the Saints. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I was like, so literally I can't root for the Saints under any circumstance whatsoever. So I just got to wait till he goes somewhere else, and then and I'm not a huge Philly fan either. And then freaking Jalen goes to Philly and Devonta goes to Philly. I'm like, be joking me. Like, what's happening?
I'm telling you, man.
Like literally any other teams. Like, why not? Why
anybody else?
Why here? So, and then, but anyway, all right, guys, we'll get out of here, man. Fleek, thanks, dude, for coming on like last minute and
anytime, brother. You know
that. It was fun, man. We thought we had a good discussion. If you guys don't agree, hey, that's totally fine, man. We're both grown ass men. We can take it, so it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're all Falcons fans. We just want what's the best for our team, and if that's that's differing opinions, that's okay. It's going to happen. It's not a big deal. With just in our opinions, our humble opinions, we just feel like number 4 needs to be in there coming out the bye, even with it being in New Orleans against a nasty fan base. I think that's a perfect time to just get them in there and say, hey, man, welcome to the NFC South. This is what this rivalry is. Go out there and beat their ass. Like,
imagine.
It,
Matt Ryan's first NFL pass was a touchdown. Could Desmond Ritter's first NFL game be a win against the Saints?
Man,
hey, start the prophecy off right, man.
I'm all about it. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching. If you're listening, like I said, on iTunes, man, we appreciate you listening. Just like I said, drop us that 5-star review. That helps us out a ton. On YouTube, if you can like the video, that would be great for us. And subscribe if you're not already. Tell your friends, your family that cheer for the Falcons. Give us a shout out or check us out on YouTube. And as we continue to grow this channel and just grow all in general. And also, Fleek, man, drop your info so they can follow you and the shows that you're on and what you do.
Yeah, so my @ is right here on Twitter. I am at Ron Rico Season, and I am a part of the ATB Network. We do the New Millennium Falcons podcast, so that's at NM Falcons ATB on Twitter. So give us a follow, and we go live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, y'all got to check those. Yeah, make sure you hit those guys because I said it about a month ago, but man, like, throughout the week, if you really just want to just engulf yourself in Falcons stuff, I mean, you've got some great options. I'm not blowing our own horn, but you got us on either Sunday or Monday. You've got Pound for Pound on Tuesday evening. You got ATB with Fleek and Trayshawn Hunter, whoever joins the show on Wednesday at 9, and then we're back on Thursdays doing the preview show for the next game. I mean,
We definitely got the fans covered, bro. We definitely have them covered.
We really do.
And it's so cool, man. I'm so glad. Me and you guys on this show, we have a very cool relationship because when you guys started doing the content and I started following you and supporting, and then I got asked to start doing content, and we kind of just all started growing together. Yep. It's been fun, man. I really appreciate y'all too. I really appreciate y'all.
All right, back at you, dude. And JR even said it last week on Pound for Pound. He was like, because he had reached out to us to see, if we could, Toby couldn't go because he was sick, and just last minute get somebody on there. Because, I don't know if you've done a show by yourself. Me personally, I don't love it. so I mean,
it's tough.
I mean, I'll do it if I have to get our show out there. But I don't prefer it. I like having somebody to bounce it off of and keep the discussion going. So like, damn, another pick from I'm watching another pick from San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, 2 minutes left to go in the game. Or I'm sorry, third quarter, 20-10. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I mean, but JR was saying how cool it was just to have, like this community that we have, like we can reach out to each other. Like there's no like this show's better, that show's better. Like there's none of that. Like it's literally it's just like we all enjoy each other's company, we all enjoy each other's shows, we all support each other's shows, like retweet all that stuff, because I mean it's all going to help us, as a whole, like, and then we all do stuff a little bit differently. So I mean you can like you probably come to our show for something different than you would go to Pound for Pound or you guys or whatever, so it's I think it's cool, man. I think we've got a really cool mix that we've got in this community. And so and like I said, Mike and I being the new guys, like to the whole thing, it was just thank you guys for like accepting us and just making it like super cool and welcoming to start off.
Man. So. Hey, y'all are so awesome, man. It was so I always love seeing new Falcons creators get into the podcast and thing, because I've always watched Pound for Pound and stuff, and they were really the first content creators for the Atlanta Falcons that I got into.
Same here.
And of course, the Falcoholic and stuff like that.
Yep.
And like, man, I tell the guys at ATB all the time, or New Millennium Falcons all the time, that we are doing something special, in my opinion, because there are a lot of podcasts, right? And there are a lot of cities that cover teams and like the national media. Like New York has a huge media group, obviously. The lights are bright in Philly. There are a few places where scrutiny is the king of the media.
Yep.
But I feel like with the ups and downs we've all gone through as Falcons fans, and to have us all come on here and create content and be able to detail the ups and downs in the different ways that we do on all the different shows, these crossovers are just so funny because all the personalities are mixed, but we all are talking and loving the common goal. And that's just, we all just want the Falcons to win.
Yeah,
that's it.
100%.
That's all we want.
And we actually had an email a few weeks ago when JR came on with me, and it was a lady, I think her name was Michelle, and she was saying like that she loved our show and blah blah blah, but she said that she really loved the crossovers. Like she loved it when we had other. She's like, I think it's so cool that we have creators that are not so egotistical that it's just them and nobody else, like just listen to my show, that type of thing. It's no, like she's like y'all please keep doing the crossovers. I was like, we're not going to stop. I mean, like we have too much fun doing it, and it's like I said, if it's just it's nothing but positive. It's going to help everybody out. So like I got nothing.
We're like the MCU of Atlanta Falcons media.
There you go. I said we should we need nicknames for each other for all that. That'd be great. We gotta figure that one out.
We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah. So all right, guys. Well, again, check us out Thursday. We'll be back for actually, you know what? There's no preview show this week. But we are going to do a show. And I'm going to whisper it because we've been trying to get together for months now, but I'm 95% sure that Adam Holloway, aka Damsky's going to be with me on Thursday. And hopefully Mike, because like I said, we'll see if Mike's going to be back, but we'll hopefully have Adam on Thursday, and we're probably going to talk about a myriad of things. We figured we'd run a show and just talk about the season as a whole up to this point, just kind of go through hot topics. So you can imagine the QB will dominate a lot of that discussion, but we'll get into a lot more than that. We'll get into defense, offense. If you know Adam and if you follow him on Twitter, he's very much into scouting and talking about schemes and players he likes now currently in college football that may be good fits for us. So all that stuff, we'll get into some of that. I know he's already started looking at college film for next season, so he may have already some guys that are on his list. So we'll talk. We'll have a lot more talking points on Thursday to get into, and then we'll have a show, of course. We won't have a recap show to talk about, but we'll have a little break ourselves probably, and then we'll be back the following Thursday to preview that Saints game. And I'm sure we'll have, as long as he can join us, Chris, our buddy Chris, who's an avid Saints fan, who's been on several shows with us before. If you watched him, he's awesome, and we get to poke a little fun at him, and I'm sure he'll have enough to throw at us too. So, but anyway, all right, buddy, Fleek, again, man, thank you very much, dude. And
no problem.
Yeah, man, and I forgot to run the ticker the entire show, but I think you guys already know. There it is. Yeah, see, if you've already joined the conversation, it's already good. But like and subscribe. So there you go. Yeah, and much love. We appreciate you guys. So we'll catch y'all on Thursday. Look for the time on the on Twitter and on social media. I'm going to just assume it's going to be around 8:30, but if it's not, I will post it. We appreciate you guys very much. Again, we'll see y'all then. And let's go Falcons. How about that? Later, boys.